Kia ora team, well here I am back at base and I'm just checking on something and this was actually I think reminded to me because I think I did know this and I've just forgotten it by Lewis, one of my viewers. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you very much. So if you have a look at the placement of these sticks, you'll see that on the sticks there's like a little notch, like a little triangle. You can see it, that little triangle there. And that little triangle points forward because that's the front. So it's marking out the front. So when you just pull this up, that's the front. That's the front of the gate. That's not a problem. And you'll see down at the bottom it says R2 choose placement, R2 deploy. What it doesn't tell you, and it should, is that if you use the D-pad, you can rotate it. So you can actually rotate the placement. So now this gate is actually facing me. So when you are, for example, out where there's less space, out in a corridor, say, if you're trying to find a placement, you can, of course, rotate the gate around so that you could change the placement. So I could, just have a look at changing the placement. So I could do this and I could do that and I could do the other. So that I actually can get an option to determine maybe I want to put it that way. And I could put it there and maybe be able to access it. I don't think I could. But yeah, anyway. So I do think I did know that. I do think I covered it when I was doing my little garage base out in Chernarus, which was like season... Ooh. I think it might have even been season 1. I found that out because I was having problems with gate placement, and I just forgot. It's been so long since I've done it. I just forgot, and I don't know why it's not down there. It says D-pad to rotate or something. It would be so much more helpful if we actually all knew that, and then you can work to trying to figure out how to place it to suit yourself. Rather than like I could put that there and then access the 4-code lock from inside. Honestly. Anyway, there you go. Just a little bit of a thought. Well, Cure again. So it is now the 2nd of November, and the DayZ devs have officially announced that 1.23 will hit servers on the 7th of November. So that gives us 5 days. What they have said is that there will be map wipes. So all of our bases will be destroyed, all of our stashes, all of this stuff here sitting in these containers, etc. will all be deleted. But anything on our person or carried by our person will be fine. So they're not wiping the characters, they're just wiping the map. It would appear to be, from my understanding, certainly with Chernarus, quite obviously that's because they're completely redoing the Northwest Airfield, so you could see why they would be doing that. From point of view of Livonia, I think probably 2 things. The first is the sky. My understanding from Wobo, who is all things technical with DayZ, is that the sky is actually a PNG file. In fact, it's 2 PNG files. And the PNG files are tied to the map. And the PNG files here, if we have a look at them, you're looking at the background one. I don't know if it's so easy to see on this because it might be just the way that it is, but there's another PNG which is the active one, which is the one that seems to be moving, which is the one that moves from east to west across the map. They will be replacing that with some clever PNGs, but those PNGs circle around the center of the map. They don't go from east to west, and they provide a little bit more detail, which is why the why the sky looks so much better. But it seems to be that in order to facilitate that, they have to do a map wipe to get rid of those PNG files and replace it with the new PNG files, etc., etc., etc. Also, for Livonia, as we've seen on this server, people are building in bunkers. So in order to get rid of those previous structures, the Livonia maps have to be wiped. to facilitate those restrictions to be put back in place. So all of our bases will be wiped, which includes all of the lovely stuff we've done here in Tarnow. But we've learned a lot, and we've learned about how to do it quickly, which is great. So I need to have a think about that and what that means for us, because I'd originally thought that perhaps when the wipe came in, I would move server um, to a Sydney server. I think I'm currently on a Singapore server. Um, but if I do that, I lose everything here. How precious am I about starting again? Is it a big deal? Is it a big problem? Don't know. Still thinking. I mean, in theory, what I can do obviously is if I could get a drum and I could continue searching around the outskirts of this place. There's a big farm up there that spawns drums. If I could get a drum, then my thinking is obviously when the server wipe is coming, you're just holding the drum. So you log out holding your drum, carrying your drum, which what has a capacity of 150. Can you? I've never had a drum. Can you pick it up while it's full? Surely you must. Really? Right? If you can pick it up while it's full and you're holding it, then it's not on the server. So when you spawn back in after the wipe, you will be in the same position, they have said, holding whatever you're holding. So if I spawn out holding my drum and I spawn back in, I'll be holding my drum. So I could take all of my build gear, for example, which is, I'd have to trim that because I've currently got 4 boxes, which is 200, but I could trim that down to 150. So I could keep all the gear that I want to keep, load up my drum, spawn out, come back, drop my drum, build my base, start all over again on the same server. The issue is if I swap server, I'm going to end up over there. It seems to be for the Livonia one. I don't know for Chernarus, but it seems to be for the Livonia one. When you swap out and swap back in again, you end up way out there in beginner territory. So if I change server, I'm going to be standing out on beginner territory with a drum full of gear, which doesn't help me. So if I'm going to do that, the best thing to do is take my critical gear with me to get myself started and then go from there. So yeah, so I need to think about that. I need to think about that. I need to think about that. Yeah. In terms of what we're going to be doing from here, so this is all of the NBC gear that we currently have. So we have gloves, which are pristine. We have some pristine pants. We have a worn jacket. We have another worn jacket. We have a pristine hood, and we have a worn pair of shoes. We have a variety of different gloves. So I think we've got pristine, worn, and I think these are also worn. No, pristine. We've got 2 masks in pretty good condition, and they both have relatively full units on them. That one's absolutely full. That one is almost completely full. We have 2 almost completely full, 2 that are beyond half, and dregs. So that's what that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took 6 to go around the Gniska Northern Airfield. Radunnin seems to be a lot bigger. So if we have a look at the Radunnin map, where are we, Radunnin? You're down here. It's an entire town, right? So I think somewhere up the road from Roztoka is where the gas is, somewhere up here maybe. That's a lot of buildings to search through. I mean, I guess the upside is that what we've found is obviously if you kill the infected, you get masks. Now that might be different up here. That might be yes, you get more masks spawn up here, but when you go down to Radunnin, you get less. I don't know. Um, that's a factor. There's an awful lot more forest around, so my original plan for setting up a stick shelter and dropping all our gear in the stick shelter and taking our time and not having to panic or worry about people finding our gear is true. And I think what we've also learned is the best thing to do is kind of get over to the area and wait for a restart and then go in straight after the restart, probably noting that other people might be doing the same, although the chances are pretty slim. Um, so I think that's what we're going to do. I think that's my plan as to what I'm going to do. What I will say is that well, that doesn't matter, I suppose. Like I was talking about, oh, we could do some more base building and do some more this and that. Um, how relevant is it? It's going to be really annoying if it gets to like the 6th and someone raids my base and I lose all my gear, isn't it? I mean, that's a possibility. Um, but I think people might be keen on trying to protect their own gear, trying to figure out which gear they can keep and how they can keep it, rather than still running around looking to raiding people's bases. So yeah, so I don't know. It's one to watch. So I think what we'll do is I will go away and have a little thinky poo about it, and when we come back, I hopefully will have hatched a plan. And yeah, and obviously now we know with the situation with the gates is for any future work, any future builds, any future this or that or anything else, we can have a look at how we would rotate the walls to make it a little bit easier for placement, because that really does change the game for us in a lot of ways. But yeah, okay. I'll have a think about it in terms of those two things when we go to Radunnin, and also I'd like to get it done before the wipe. I'd like to get out there and do it, um, and then after that we'll think about, do we want to change server or not server and the pros and cons of that. So yeah, well, yeah. I'll see you soon. Kia ora, team. Welcome back. Well, that's Radunnin. And this is my little shelter hidden in these little bushes off out of the way. Hopefully it's temporary, so there you go. We'll just sit here in our temporary little shelter and wait. So yeah, so this is my plan, and I've done this before, where I make a little shelter and I drop all my gear in my shelter. Pardon me, where it's out of the way and I don't lose it, like my armored hood. But look, armored hood, armored hood. I was having a look around Tarnell before coming over this way, and I found a witch's hood and I found a coif. So I guess I just got unlucky and it despawned because I was away for so long. I don't know. So yeah, and my pumpkin head is still back at Tarnell again. Did I say? Can't remember. So Halloween is over. It's November the 3rd right now. 4 days until 1.23 drops. So I want to get Radunnin done. And this is what I do: come to the edge, build a shelter, drop my gear in the shelter, go in, do what I want to do, come back, and then sort out my inventory there and then figure out what I'm going to do. Now, these shelters are buggy as hell for a start trying to build them. It usually takes, after you've placed them and got all the gear, like 2 or 3 goes to get them to pop up. For some reason, I don't know why, but it just seems to take ages for some strange reason. Now, they do take a little bit to build. Unlike other stuff, it doesn't actually show you what the build requirements are when it's built. But you need 4 long sticks and 50 short sticks for this basic one, if that's what you're doing. If you brought a tarp or something, you can build a tarp one, but it really sticks out like dog's balls, so I wouldn't bother if I were you. This one's okay, but you do need quite a bit of sticks, quite a bit of short sticks, in particular 50 short sticks. But there's a simple way to do that, which is you bring yourself a hatchet and a sharpening stone. I think my sharpening stone has run out now. Yeah, it has. Bring yourself a hatchet and a sharpening stone, and go find a couple of big trees, like big trees and chop them up for wooden logs. And what you'll get is you'll get a bunch of firewood and a bunch of logs. And then you use the hatchet, you can split the wooden logs into firewood. And I think you get 2 bits of firewood for every wooden log. Off the top of my head, I think that is. I don't know if that's absolutely guaranteed or if it changes by pine tree versus deciduous. Don't quote me on that. But you do get at least a couple of firewoods for a wooden log. Chopping down the tree and chopping the logs into firewood uses up some of the condition status of your hatchet. However, you can then turn the firewood into short sticks, and you get 3 short sticks per lump of firewood using the same hatchet, and it does not apparently change the condition status, or if it does, it takes an awful lot. So to build this, I have had to chop down 2 trees, and I have had to make 4 large wooden logs into firewood, and I have had to make 50 short sticks, which is the equivalent of, blimey, because it's in threes, isn't it? 17 pieces of firewood. So 17 pieces of firewood that I have split with my hatchet, and none of those 17 change the condition of the hatchet. So that is an awful lot faster. You go out there into these little bushes with your knife or even your hatchet and you start hacking down these bushes with a hatchet, you'll chew through your hatchet in no time. Don't do it. Waste of time. Go get a big tree, chop it down, turn it into firewood, turn the firewood into short sticks, and boom, you got a shelter in. Well, I did this in like, I don't know, 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes, maybe even less than that. 7 minutes? Let's say good steak time. Anyway, it didn't take any time at all. So we're on the outskirts of Radunnin. We're sitting in our shelter. We have all of our gear. We brought along some spare bits and pieces. Let's maybe stock up on food a little bit. Talk about a couple of things, because I was going to go into Radunnin, but unfortunately night is falling. So I don't really think I want to go in there at night for the first time, because I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to find when I get there. The server restarted about 40-50 minutes ago. So it's not been very long since the server restart. So I'm thinking surely nobody's just like dashed over here, other than me, obviously, to run through Radunnin. Have they? Have they? I mean, since my last video, people have posted saying, nah, you just got unlucky, mate. You should have found more of this and more of that. And I've found better guns there, and I found this there and whatnot. And people are just saying I got unlucky, which is fine. That happens in DayZ. That's the way the loot system works. It's the way the loot generation system works. So there you go. So anyway, I'm going to wait until what is rapidly becoming evening turns into morning, and I can get in there without having to worry about night going down and finding myself in a sticky situation with gas masks and infected I can't see and a whole bunch of other bits and pieces. Because sometimes in this server the nights are real dark, actually. Sometimes not so bad, sometimes real dark. So I don't want to be out there and I get a real dark night, because then I just have to stop, and I'm not going to get too many goes at this because of the amount of gear that I need to do it. So that's what I'm doing. So what we'll do is we'll work our way through some of these rations and things that we have. I think I've got some consumables here in the meat department, so I might probably eat that. The chicken probably doesn't really give me much sustenance, so we'll do that. And we'll talk about 1.23 for a little second, shall we? 1.23, eh? I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the sky. Everyone's talking about how great the sky looks and how it's more immersive and how it's all tickety-boo. Everything else really is it's bug fixes, which I suppose will be great. You know, there's quite a lot of bug fixes again, which is fantastic. Obviously, you've got the vehicle pushing mechanism, which is fine. If we go down the road of getting a vehicle again, it was handy having a vehicle. I won't deny that. Having the Hummer around. People have said for the Hummer, should have built the flag. Flag would have stopped the Hummer despawning. Yeah, okay, I get you. Flag, got it, no problem. Um, it's a heck of a trouble getting rocks and stones, so you need to get screwdrivers and things for. And I think pipe wrenches you can even do that with. Oh, I've got a spare stick there. Look. Don't need the spare stick. Thank you. We can get rid of that. Sounded awfully noisy dropping it, didn't it? So 1.23. Yes. So what are we going to do? I've been thinking about this, and I've been thinking about this, and I've been thinking about this, and I've been thinking that what I'm going to do is I am going to change server. And I'm going to change server because I think that this server is just not very good. just not very good. Yeah, I just don't like I just don't like this server. It's got one clan ish, I think, maybe, that seem to be really powerful, and they're just like soaking up the whole thing, and it's just ruining it for everybody. And I don't think there's enough other players to really challenge them, and I can't challenge them. I'm a solo player, and I can't. You know, at this stage in my career, DayZ career, coming up on 600 hours, I'm still a complete novice. I mean, I can't believe it's 600 hours and I'm still a complete novice. Um, you know, yeah, I know some basics, but I know nothing about base raiding, and I know nothing about PvP, really, to be honest. So, you know, that's something that I want to spend the next 600 hours getting a little bit better at. And it may not be me. It isn't always. Some people relish the PvE game and the base building game and the survival against the odds game, even if it means surviving against a clan. But there you go. So anyway, I don't particularly like this server, and there you go. So I'm going to move server. I'm going to move to a different server, which is slightly more people, hopefully. But as I've said before, Livonia on console just doesn't seem to get a whole heck of a lot of love. I don't know why. I think it's a great map, but you know, I've talked about this on the channel about maybe there's just not enough here. You know, it all seems very specialist stuff, and there's a few. Oh, there goes a helicopter. And there's a few areas maybe, and the rest of it is dead. You know, a large central portion is just derelict towns with no good loot in it. It's like, why would I even bother going there? So then people only hang around the outskirts on the north and the east and the west and the south, and the central bit's mostly dead, it seems. So there you go. So anyway, never mind, that's Livonia. I'm going to move servers. So what does that mean, and how are we going to achieve that? Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is a lot of serious inventory management. So what I'm going to have to do is I am going to have to organize what I want to bring. I want to bring the stuff that will help me start a base. So, you know, a hoe, a hatchet, sharpening stone, boxes of nails, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm probably going to go for like a tower block base wherever I go to again. So I don't need that much to start with, because I'm only going to need like one or maybe two doors, right? And we know how to do that kind of quickly. So we only need like a couple of 4-code locks, and then we're kind of started and we're on our way, and we can build up from there. Bearing in mind that after 1.23 drops, everyone's going to be starting to build up first before they start raiding first, I think. Maybe, I could be wrong. And to do that, I think what I'm going to have to do is also, I think I'm going to have to bring a couple of boxes, and I think what I might have to do is wherever I spawn in on the new server, I'm just going to have to bury one somewhere, and then I can, if not two, depending on how loaded I am, and bury like the NBC gear, like bring all my NBC gear, because it took me a while to find this stuff. Bring all my NBC gear, but like bury it, and then like bury a box full of mostly base building gear or combat gear or something, and then I might have some other base building gear that I take with me and head off. So yeah, so I've been thinking about it, and that's what I think I'm going to do. So that's the plan. I don't know when I will get this video out. I'm assuming probably on my schedule this will go out my tomorrow, which will be, or the day after, which will be the 4th or the 5th, which means this maybe I might try and squeeze another one out just before the 7th, just as a sort of a goodbye one. No matter how short it is, it might not be the full sort of like 40, 50, 1 hour jobby. But just a kind of a last hurrah, say goodbye, all the rest of it, and then we'll just gather all our gear and switch server. I mean, I could switch server earlier, because what they're saying obviously is map wipe, not character wipe, but then I'm going to find myself with, I can't stash my gear, I have to kind of carry it around, and it'd be a bit of a pain. So I think I'll probably just have to wait, and I have to calculate when they're going to do it based on the timing, because obviously they do their timing for European time and I'm not in Europe, so I'll just need to figure all that out. But hey ho, there you go, I'll figure that out, don't you worry. And that'll be that. So what I'll do is I'll probably just check out for now. Might do a little bit of inventory management so we're ready to go, and the next time you see me will be when we are forging on with barging into Radunnin. How about that then? I'll see you all soon. Cura team. While you watch me going into Radunnin, sadly, life got in the way of my plans. So I couldn't go in as planned immediately after the server restart. So a further 24 hours has elapsed. And in fact, a server restart is actually due while you're watching this. Sort of within about 45 minutes. So there you go, them's the breaks, those are the things that happen. So anyway, sit back with your cup of tea or your cup of coffee or your beer, brandy, whiskey, whatever, and enjoy, and take some tips from running around, get a feel for the place if you've never been before, and yeah, who knows, let's see what we get out of it, shall we? I'll see you soon. Well, there you go. I picked up a VSS, which is, it's not too bad. Having a VSS. Don't have a cartridge. Don't have a magazine. Sorry, don't have a magazine. Which is, there you go. Don't have a magazine. Um, that is fine. I will get a magazine somewhere. The scope's worn, which is fine. Just needs a battery. Um, it's badly damaged. Needs a bit of a tidy up with the gun kit, which isn't no drama. I probably need to swing by, um, get a VSS magazine, which is probably slightly easier to pick up, to be fair, and you can probably pick those up in more random militaries than you can actually pick up the gun. Um, so that's fine. So that's, I mean, if you don't know, obviously the VSS is integrally suppressed, which means it's real quiet. Um, as long as you keep it well maintained, it's real quiet. Um, Range isn't as good as the Tundra 400 it's got here, which is fine. Um, but let's face it, who am I kidding? Shooting longer than that. So that would be very good, very handy little weapon for taking pot shots at people. Takes 939s, and you can use KA scopes, but it's got a scope on it anyway. So yeah, it's a tidy piece of kit. It's not the best piece of kit, but it's a tidy piece of kit to have nonetheless. But otherwise, it's still disappointing. Still disappointing. And yes, okay, as you can see, the server is about to restart, so it has been a while. Um, and I can't be 100% sure that I got to everything. The visibility does obscure quite a bit. Um, but I do think we got down to the base at the bottom. I think you go any further, you're going into Rostoka. It's just burned out buildings and stuff. We did the whole um, military medical side. We found the tents up in the fields on that side, and I think on that side. And we had a look at those, and I think that's it. I don't think there is anything else. I mean, I could be wrong, and I didn't necessarily check every single container in every single room, which is fine. I wasn't desperately sure about how long I would have on my masks. As it happens, we got out of there with what's on the mask. Yeah, I mean stuff. So I'm 1.23 is not a million miles away. I'm just leaving this stuff here. We're going to have to make some hard decisions with 1.23 coming regarding what we're going to be able to take with us and the fact that we are going to be changing server. And these are not going to be top of my priority list. Any of these. These in particular are getting to be in pretty bad condition. I don't want them. I'm going to leave them here with the shelter. If someone else finds them, go nuts, donuts. If for any random reason that we end up back here again, and I can't imagine why we would end up back here again, but if for some random reason that we do end up back here again, then there's every possibility that we'll just be able to use them. I want to drop that. That's right, drop that, pick up that, and store some stuff in there. So I'm going to store some stuff in there, and then we're going to head cross country back to base. And what that's going to mean is that we're going to have to make some decisions when we get back to base about stuff. And we might be able to stop into, let's take the pox antidote. We might be able to stop into maybe, what is it? Who's probably closest? No, not that one. Lemborg? Lemborg's got a big base over there. So we could head around to Lemborg and check out Lemborg looking for a VSS mag. And we can always head back through Boric as well if we don't get any joy, because it's got lots of shipping containers, a couple of bases, a couple of things up at the top. So that's what I think we'll do. I think we will head back that way and leave this stuff here. Right. well, I think probably I'm going to leave it there. And next time I see you will probably be our final farewell episode before 1.23 drops. Isn't that going to be interesting? Anyway, there you go. Managed to do Radunnin, more or less, give or take, 90%, 9 out of 10. Not really sure. You know, still a bit disappointing, really, bit disappointing. Um, but there you are. What can you do? Do drop us a like. Do subscribe. Click the bell notification. Let you know when I'm producing other videos in the series. And I'll see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now.
PlayStation